Alright, today we're going to show you how to install the wiring harness for the Vsett10. And here's all the basic tool that you're going to use. So these parts are sorted by the order that you will go through. So you need Phillips head, hex, 3mm specifically. So if you don't have a machine one, just any normal hex is fine. Hole punch for accurate drilling. And make sure you have the hammer with that. Tape to kind of covering up the wire so it won't get messy, and the drill. And we'll go into the specific of the drill bit measurement later when we start the drilling. Filing down to make sure that it won't cut the wire later. Vacuum, cleaning up the mess. And this to secure the wire in the hole. And when you order the battery through us, with the option of the harness, you will get this harness with the extended battery. So let's start. And so now we start by taking off the deck. Once you got all 12 screws out, lift this carefully. Then make sure you disconnect the charge port. And now you can toss it. Now the next step is take all of these out so we can make space to drill in. So best remove the controller first. You don't have to unhook them. You can just put them through the sides like hanging over here. But ideally the battery should be out because you definitely don't want to mess with that. After removing the battery, make sure to turn on the scooter up here. Just by holding the power buttons, it will turn on and discharge. Turn on, you'll see it blip, bit, and die. That's when you know the capacitor is empty. Now we're moving up to the front to remove the side panel. And you will need the Phillips. Just these two. Now you should be able to push it out and let it hang is fine. All right, now we're going to use the blue tape to make a safe zone so we can drill through and the sharp metal won't go everywhere. We highly recommend doing this just to make it easier to clean up after, and make sure you do that too for the light. And now, make sure you remove this gasket so we don't accidentally drill into it later. Now, to determine the spot for the hole, you can use these two wires to help you locate the spot. So we're just gonna do it right up here. So we wanna make a U right there. If you just want to do a circle, then you have to cut into the harness and resolder it after. So our solution is making a U, and then you can see us drop in the wire easily after. You don't have to do any soldering job. Either option is fine, but we recommend doing this if you don't feel too comfortable with soldering. Now we just got a file and cleaned it down. This might take a while. This is after we're filing it down. Make sure you clean everywhere, like from the inside and here, because after this, it's just assembling it back together. So make sure it's clean. You don't want any metal shard inside with the battery. So for the hole, we recommend you don't go bigger than 3/4. Make sure it's smooth. You can do this and don't feel like something is cutting your finger, because you don't want it to cut the wire at some point. Now we can start putting the harness back in together and assemble the scooter. So our harness comes pretty self-explanatory, where you don't have to worry about plugging it into the wrong size or not. These will go to the controller, and this end will go to the 2 battery port on the battery. Now we'll start assembling it. Now's the hard part, the organizing of the cable back and putting everything back together. do be patient with this process where you're organizing the wire inside. It does take a while, but please make sure it's in tightly and nothing is being cramped on by anything, especially these small wire right here. Make sure the cable is organized. This sits pretty well. It's fine if it's like this. When you put on the deck, it will press the phone down and it will be fine. Here's a close-up of how we organize the two phase wire box. We have better chance of them standing straight up like that rather than flat. So we're just gonna put a tape behind these so we can start siliconing it. We don't want the silicone to hit the other wires. We can let it sit. It's fine to leave the tape in here. It's just gonna help it dry and shape the silicone better when it's dry. So it's fine to leave it there. And you can actually just start closing it up when it's dry. Now after it's dry, don't forget to put some of these on. You don't have to use all of them again, but make sure to put it in this area. These are just padding. Now we can put this in first before the deck. Make sure the cable are in this pre-made hole already. Make sure you plug it in. Doesn't really matter which one to switch. Alright, this will be bulging a bit, so we'll screw slowly until we get to the last part and it will sit tight. With all the screw in, it'll flat, especially here. It's real less bulge. Only thing left, you just have to plug it in. And make sure that the external battery and the scooter battery only 1 volt different or less. If it is more, charge one of them until they are around the same voltage and then plug them in together.